If you're walking through bear territory, there's a rhyme to follow. Brown lay down, black attack, which says if you see a brown bear, act non-threatening, and if it's a black bear, make noise and act big to scare it away. This is sorta true. Unfortunately, it's not that cut and dry, and we'll get to that later, but let's look at how this rhyme came to be. Around 5 million years ago, the bear family underwent a drastic change. The world's climate shifted and vegetation exploded. With forests and plants popping up everywhere, mammals took advantage of this. More food meant animals diversified, and with more prey around, more predators arose too. Lucky for bears, they developed shiny new teeth, allowing them to hunt more prey, making them grow larger than their early ancestors. Some stayed in the forest, but others didn't, and this is what led to the separation of bears today. The forest was safe for bears, plants to pick from, prey to catch, safety for their cubs, and protection from the climate. But outside the forest was open land, though with that territory came danger. Scarcer food, less hiding spots from predators, and more exposure to the seasons. And a few million years ago, there was a divide. What we know today as black bears stayed in the forest, but the others evolved into brown bears. By growing much larger, they could afford to travel further for food, were capable of protecting their young, and could withstand exposure to the climate. While black bears remained smaller, they kept their agility. Don't climb a tree if you see one, because now you might be fighting a bear in a tree. Bad idea. Black bears usually want nothing to do with humans, and its typical response to a threat is to send its cubs up a tree, run, and come back when all clear. As brown bears grew larger, they lost some climbing ability. They can climb, but relying on trees for your cub's safety when there may be none in sight isn't a good strategy. They had to be ready to defend, which is why acting big around a brown bear may not go over well. It evolved to be ready to fight any threat to itself, its cubs, or its food. This pattern rings true for most bears today. The sun bear and the spectacled bear are smaller bears and even better climbers. The sloth bear, however, while small and an excellent climber, is known to act aggressive towards humans instead of run away like you'd expect. Why? Sloth bears' top predators are tree climbers too. Their best bet is to fight, rather than hoping their 6-month-old cub can outclimb a leopard. Also a bad idea. So while brown lay down, black attack has some truth, it's better to look at the way the bear is behaving, defensive or not. If it's acting defensively, making noise, stomping, acting stressed, it's telling you you're too close. Maybe its cubs or food are nearby and it sees you as a threat, so don't get any closer and back away. If it charges at you, you stand your ground. It'll most likely stop short. If it doesn't and knocks you down, this is when you play dead, cover yourself, and wait for it to leave. The other way you might encounter a bear is one acting curious and not stressed. It might just be passing through, interested in your food, or even you as food. Move out of its path, but if it keeps following you, you want to show it you are a threat. Shout at it and act big. If it starts to attack, you fight back. This is probably where the rhyme came from, as the most serious attacks on humans come from hungry black bears and getting too close to brown bears. All this may seem scary, but it's important to remember that bear attacks are incredibly rare, and if you follow the basics like don't sneak up on a bear, travel in groups, know your surroundings, and come prepared, you lower the risk to even less. Bears are not fearsome man-eaters, and knowledge and awareness is the best way to avoid harm to either species. Oh, and the last part of that rhyme is white. Say goodnight. Or, just wait a few years and they'll all drown. Problem solved.